I was approached by a friend to come build this technology for Tesla. I saw what they were doing and I'm like, I am confident with the research I've seen that I can beat that. And then one day I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna go buy a car, I'm gonna throw some cameras in it, throw some computers in it, we're just gonna make this work. Done. Now ask yourself, what is self-driving, right? So a lot of cars already have cruise control. In some ways, cruise control is a self-driving car, and then some cars have adaptive cruise control, which that does the brake automatically. And what we're building is level 3 automation. Level 3 automation, 99% of the time, you have to do absolutely nothing except watch the car drive. And level 4 automation is, of course, when cars can drive with no people in them at all. I'm George Hotz, and I'm about to be the next billion-dollar CEO.
How do you think that this approach is different, and why is it better than what Waymo is doing, what Tesla is doing, these sort of bigger players?
Tesla understands more about what we're doing, but let's look at Waymo, right? So Waymo, when they want to figure out how to build a self-driving car, they sit 4 engineers down in a room and they talk about, okay, well, we come upon a stop sign, we know that we should stop, and we know that we should stop this distance, and wait, could you get the DMV handbook out? Let me see, okay, we have to signal 50 meters. That's not what driving is, right? This is the same failure of computer vision for many, many years, right? When people wanted to build like a detector to see if there was a chair in an image, they would write out the definition of a chair. They would say, okay, well, a chair has a back and it has 4 legs and it has, wait, what about a bar stool? Is that a chair? Well, I don't know, we're gonna investigate bar stools. There's how a lot of people are thinking about this problem, and it's absurd. You wanna figure out if there's a chair in an image or not, you get 1 million images with chairs, 1 million images without chairs, and you use machine learning to train a classifier that says chair or no chair, right? So that's the same approach we take to driving. There is no rigid specification or definition of driving. Driving is just what people do when they drive. And in order to really get access to the full diverse spectrum of what driving is, you need a huge crowdsourced database. And I mean, that's what we're building. And then we'll just learn what it means to drive. Obviously, Google is going to, get to level 4 before we will. Nobody doubts this, right? But the reason Google is going to lose is they're going to get to level 4 with an $100,000 system, right? And then they have a whole thing to go through to deal with, okay, how do we actually get this in the hands of people? If we get the AI problem solved a year after Google, Google's still going to be sitting there thinking, okay, well, maybe we could finance it to people. For us, we're just going to push the software update, right? I'm going to push the button and be like, and Elon knows this too, right? We're just going to push the button and then boom, all these cars are level 4 self-driving. We got the insurance company to underwrite the policy. You don't have to pay attention anymore. Done. Right? And that's the comma.ai plan, right? Google can only, iterate and build on top of what other companies have already done. Was Chrome the first web browser? No, but it was the best, right? Was Android the first non-iOS, operating system for smartphones? No, but it was way better than like Symbian and BlackBerry OS, right? But it's not. Google in some ways is not like an innovative company, right? And then when they try to innovate, you get things like Google Glass. The Google self-driving car project is like Google Glass. I say Google is the Xerox PARC of the self-driving car industry, right? You see all these good ideas, you bring them out.
People think of the driving problem as like this rigid problem, right? Like they're operating like a plow in a field or a miner or a Starship Docker, right? Like those things are maybe appropriate to use lidar because they're very like physics-based problems. Driving is not a physics-based problem. Driving is a psychology problem. The hard part in driving is not staying in the middle of the lane. The hard part in driving is being like, look at that guy, what's he gonna do? Actually, there's a flip side of that too. It's not just look at that guy, what's he gonna do? It's driving your car in such a way that the guy behind you understands what you're gonna do. It's not just important to predict, but it's also important to be predictable. And that's why the only acceptable policy for driving is the human policy. Machine-based policies are dangerous. You have to drive like a human if you want to interoperate on human roads. And then you have these like utopian, googly fantasy people who's like, we're going to lobby the city government and replace all the roads with tiny Waymo bubble cars. I'm like, yeah, that's going to happen. Yeah.
Well, how about
especially when cars get weirder, like Civics, Corollas, Accords. This is the bread and butter. Support the cars everyone has.
Got it. LiDAR. So is LiDAR a trap? Like, why are so many people like so, gung-ho bullish about LiDAR, saying you need LiDAR? Where is this all headed?
So a lot of people get this idea they're going to copy Google, right? So Google used LiDAR on their Waymo cars, right? Like LiDAR was like a weird technology, but it happened to win the DARPA Grand Challenge, driving across the desert. It was Velodyne 64. So these people are all copying Waymo. The thing is, the company that you're copying is a huge money sink. So I don't get it. I like this like these people also aren't really using lidar that much for detection. They're using it for localization. So they're using precise localization in HD maps. This approach is absolutely ridiculous. It's like it's not at all how humans drive. To say a lot about how Tesla's approach is different, but at least they're not doing this crap. Right, like, oh, we're gonna map every segment down to a centimeter, and then like some guy moves a lane line, and then it's like, oh, it's gonna plow right into a wall, right? Like, it's a bad idea. You have to put the intelligence on the car, not on the cloud.
Where is this headed? Do you think are they just gonna be like, for example, Waymo? Are they just gonna be stuck in their geofenced, mapped out areas like city centers for it to be more the role of a taxi? Do you think there's a business model for that? Or do you
I heard a good joke about Waymo, and it's when Waymo 1 launched, their service area was 100 square miles. Right? 2 years later, it was 50 square miles. So we got like an inverse Moore's law thing going on here. In 20 years, the service area won't even be able to fit a single Waymo in it. They'll shut it down. They'll shut it down.
Shut it down, you think?
Yeah.
And do you think they'll pivot into some type of vision only, or will it be just?
I don't think they can. I think they're too bloated. I think they've already burned way too much money. Right? There's no reason to pivot. Right? You want to pivot if you're an organization that's like profitable, but you're starting to see profits decline. Okay, pivoting might make sense. If you're an organization that's effectively billions of dollars in debt, don't pivot. Shut the organization down and start a new one. Right?
Yeah.
How have those predictions sort of panned out?
None of that's true. Every single car today needs somebody paying attention. Tesla, us, Waymo. Things got very good on the highway last year. Ours is very good. Autopilot's very good. They're nowhere near level 3. Level 4 is mostly a scam.
And why do you say that?
Because, for example, one of those Waymo cars costs $250,000. And they have a full-time driver monitoring it. So, that's not a product. That's a press demo. The whole thing's a press demo. Until the system can be shown to be statistically safer than a human alone, the driver has to pay attention.
Gotcha. But you think that self-driving cars at level 4 are just a scam in general, or just the current offerings?
I think that the approach of using HD maps and building effectively line-following robots, which every high-end level 4 company is doing, Waymo, Zoox, Cruise, we build a very high-definition map, we plot an exact line for the car to drive, and then we just follow that line. I think this whole approach doesn't work. Because self-driving is not a new ability that the world gets. It's not like, building a rocket to go to Mars. There's no way to get to Mars right now. You can have a self-driving car right now. It's called Uber, right? Just put a person in it. Like, who cares? It's just a cost question. And this whole $250,000 car outfitted with lidars, maps made to 1 centimeter, it doesn't make economic sense. So that's why I think level 4 is a scam. But again, these companies have spent so much money. Look, we spent $8.1 million. We fold, we go under. Who cares? That's not money. We're profitable. The Zoox guy, they raised $990 million. They've never made any revenue. And they're running out of money.
Or cars they add to their network, right? So Tesla sells a car, they make money. We sell a device, we make money. Mobileye sells a chip, they make money, right? Waymo adds a car, oh, they lose more money. Oh, so that's the difference.
Super Cruise?
Super Cruise does not have a sophisticated data gathering apparatus, right? I'm talking about people who can get videos back.
Okay.
Do you think all these other companies transition to vision only?
A lot of them are now, but largely because of part shortages, right? Honda's the 2022 Civic is vision only. Tesla's vision only is, right? Like, I watched Karpathy's presentation on that, and I'm like, this is what we were doing 2 years ago. So there are places where
About that, solve the problem, you have all the value you want.
All right, so here's where I kind of get stuck with Tesla's autopilot, right? There's level 2 where we're at now, which is, it's great. I love it. It adds a lot of features for many drivers. And in fact, that's what Jesse and I spend a lot of our time trying to tell people about is like, you should really try this because it really is awesome. For a 60-mile drive, it just completely changes everything. And that's why I think you guys call it chill. You can chill out and relax. But at the other end of the spectrum, there's level 5, right? Which is the promise of getting to, I can fall asleep in my car. But there's now going to be these middle years, right? Where we're going to go from level 2 to level 5. In these middle years, I'm going to have to like wake up from my nap to take over, if the car can't handle it or, whatever level we're at. Are you excited about getting to level 5? Or does the challenge of solving each new level, is that what interests you?
I don't think the levels really mean that much. I mean, I think that like with the new Tesla DMV thing, Tesla internally believes pretty much the same stuff. The only difference between the levels is who's taking liability, right? In level 2, the driver is always liable. In level 3, the manufacturer is sometimes liable. In level 4, the manufacturer is liable in a predefined area. And in level 5, the manufacturer is liable anywhere. Why do I want liability? I mean, Tesla knows this too. I'm just more honest about it, right? We're level 2 forever.
And so that means
$1 billion hit on Argo, right? This was the Ford Volkswagen joint one. Shifts its bet to driver assist tech. Yeah, you can right now go use Blues Cruise on your Ford, or you can buy a comma. How many billions, and then there's the really big one, of course. Yeah. Despite $10 billion spent. Did you know that Cruise was originally, I talked about this in last year's Comic-Con, or 2 years ago Comic-Con. Cruise was originally building a $10,000 aftermarket kit for Audi A4s. Kyle Vogt gave up on this dream. He gave up, he talks about this in Lex Friedman, because it was too hard. There are too many different cars you're going to have to support. So figuring out how to support all those cars is too hard, and figuring out a graceful degradation if everything isn't working perfectly is too difficult. Comma solved all these problems years ago. None of this stuff was hard, right? But then people look, and it drives me crazy. It's like there's still people out there who think Cruise is a bigger success than Comma. They lost $10 billion. I don't even know what to say. Like reality comes and smacks you in the face, and you're like, yeah, no, but it was a good run, man. It was a good run. For $10 billion, you could have had 6 of these. This is the biggest building in the world. We could have had one in Chicago. We could have one in San Francisco. We could have had one in LA. We could have one here in San Diego. What's my take on Waymo going live? What do you mean, is it live? Can I hire a Waymo? If I download the app right now, can I hire a Waymo? Red light detection is the wrong way to think about it. Ghost hardware is vaporware. NVIDIA buying ARM. Thumbs down. Thumbs up to RISC-V. In Phoenix. In Phoenix. So I can go to Phoenix and I can get a Waymo. What do I care about the Rimac concept too? Hardware subscription model. Oh my God, Ghost's ridiculous subscription model. It's another fake launch. Waymo is going to be fake launches until they go out of business. Right? The problem with Waymo isn't even technical. The problem with Waymo is product. You're paying for a slower Uber. You're paying less money for a slower Uber. I have news for you. You can already do this. It's called Uber Pool. I believe that Reddit video. Yeah, that's really a community Reddit video, Waymo. You fooled me. Oh, we gotta make it look like it's coming from the community and it's not paid actors. Never mind. We're not here to talk about Waymo. We're here to talk about really high to solve these problems. Look, self-driving is going to be solved by 20 geniuses, right? It's not going to be solved by 1,000 people. I don't think any research problems in history have ever been solved that way, right? You have some on the extreme end, you have things like the proof of Fermat's theorem, right? Which is solved really by, it's one lone genius. It's one lone genius building on top of a lot of other people's work. And of course, you're always going to be building on top of other people's work. That's how any science or research or engineering works. But, in reality, there's nothing, self-driving is going to be solved by 20 people and, 1,000 computers. Right? If you believe in an ML solution to self-driving, there's not going to be a lot of open pilot in and of itself, except for adding navigation to it. the whole UX and stuff is kind of done. Like, it can use some refinement and stuff, but like it's there. We have some good stuff as we approach 1.0. I'm brutally honest. You have to be brutally honest. Look, if you want to get anything done in the world and you're being dishonest, you're only hurting yourself. My last slide. I want you guys to remember something else that's lost in a lot of self-driving car rhetoric. A self-driving car is not a car. I have no idea why Cruise and Waymo and Zoox decided to build cars. It's nonsense. A self-driving car is a dude. Hey, he's the self-driving. That's a car. We just want to build the self-driving. We don't want to build the car. The ultimate comma is not a device that plugs into your car. It's a robot that gets in the driver's seat. Right? That's where we're going. Why should we, oh, you got to crack the Toyota security. Oh, no. Tools we develop at comma will also be extremely helpful to solving general intelligence. And that's, I think, the real reason why I'm doing it. I don't care about self-driving cars. It's a cool problem to beat people at.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, you're of two minds. So one, you do have to have a mission and you want to focus and make sure you get there. You can't forget that. But at the same time, there is a thread that's much bigger than that connects the entirety of your effort. That's much bigger than just driving.
With AI and with general intelligence, it is so easy to delude yourself into thinking you figured something out when you haven't. If we build a level 5 self-driving car, we have indisputably built something.
Yeah.
Something. But no, I mean, look, the big player here is, of course, Tesla. It's always been Tesla. We can just talk about, since the beginning, we've always talked about how far we are behind Tesla. And it has stayed that way. They have managed to stay about 2 or 3 years ahead of us continually. The new FSD, I was blown away. Like, at the leaps that were made from like the FSD 12 that I tried, that I was like, this is literally worse than OpenPilot, to like FSD 14, which is like, all right, they figured something out. We got to figure that out too. I think we got it. But so you can look at the fleet size. This is the Waymo fleet, the comma fleet, the Tesla fleet. Comma is the second largest video connected fleet after Tesla. And these are our growth numbers. So we have almost 7,000 dailies and almost 12,000 monthlies. So yeah, we're gathering big data. But again, there's really only one company to compare yourself to in this space, and it's Tesla. So let's talk about our distance to Tesla. Here's some breakdowns of some different axes, right? So when you look at the difference in fleet size between comma and Tesla, we're off by 3 orders of magnitude. So comma's 10K, Tesla's about 10 million. When you look at the total number of total amount of training compute that we have. So you can see the Tiny Corp, you see the Tiny Box Pros over there. You'll hear about them more in a talk later. We have about 1,000 GPUs. Tesla. With comma, it really started as an ego battle with Elon. I wanted to beat him. I saw a worthy adversary. You know, here's a worthy adversary who I can beat at self-driving cars. And I think we've kept pace, and I think he's kept ahead. I think that's what's ended up happening there. But I do think comma's profitable. When this Drive GPT stuff starts working, that's it. There's no more bugs in the loss function. Right now we're using a hand-coded simulator. Mm-hmm. There's no more bugs. This is going to be it. This is the run up to driving.
I hear a lot of really, a lot of props for OpenPilot for comma.
It's better than FSD and Autopilot in certain ways. It has a lot more to do with which feel you like. We lowered the price on the hardware to $14.99. You know how hard it is to ship reliable consumer electronics that go on your windshield? Mm-hmm. We're doing more than most cell phone companies.
How'd you pull that off, by the way? Shipping a product that goes in a car.
I know. I have an SMT line. I make all the boards in-house in San Diego.
Quality control.
I care. I
think that's forgotten by a lot of people who, I think Silicon Valley and technology are not synonymous. Silicon Valley culture needs to die, and technology will live on.
If I can get you to make a few more predictions. Where do you think that comma will be, or self-driving cars, in the next 2 to 5 years?
I hope that the reckoning will finally come for these level 4 companies that have now spent billions of dollars and made $0 in revenue and have no possible path to revenue. They're trying to become ride-sharing companies. Uber and Lyft IPO'd, and they're not doing well. Those are not profitable companies, and this is what you're going to copy. I'll predict, and maybe this is me being optimistic, that those companies will serious downturns, layoffs, mergers back into the parent corporation. Like, Cruise becomes GM, Waymo becomes Google, Zoox just, sorry everybody, sorry, the dream's dead. Tesla, Mobileye, I think we'll see almost commutes where you don't have a disengagement kind of be the norm. But still paying attention at all times. When Zoox, Cruise, and Waymo start to really falter, things are going to look good for us. And then you want to buy comma.ai? I have a price. I'll sell out $1 billion. For $1 billion, a lot of things are negotiable. I could do a lot of stuff with $1 billion. That's a good endowment for